Good morning and welcome to the 27th You're the Tops Luncheon. I'm Kathleen Ninke, KBTX anchor and reporter, and I'm pleased to be your MC today. As you know, this year our luncheon is virtual due to the continued need for social distancing. I know, we were all hoping to be gathered in person this year, but the top priority of the prenatal clinic is the health of this community, and therefore, y'all are just stuck with me on a TV screen again this year. Trust me, I miss seeing your faces in person. My camera guy looks okay, hey Steve, but not as lovely as all of you look in that Hilton ballroom light. What will never change, no matter what, our honorees this year and every year are highly distinguished women. When you hear about their contributions to our community, I know you'll agree that they are indeed the tops. This luncheon is a key fundraiser for one of the most deserving nonprofits in our community, the Prenatal Clinic. 2021 marks the 36th year that the clinic's been helping our friends and neighbors, this community's women, have healthy babies. To deliver our invocation and begin our program, I would like to introduce Pastor Jennifer Weber. She's the lead pastor of contemporary worship at First United Methodist Church in Bryan. Pastor Jennifer loves to lead worship and help connect the gospel with those she ministers to. And as many of you can attest, she is gifted in building relationships within and outside of the church. She strives to lead by example so that through her life, she can be a vessel for the Holy Spirit. Pastor Jennifer?
Hi, I'm Pastor Jennifer Weber from First United Methodist Church, Bryan, and I wanted to congratulate you for being such incredibly dynamic women who encourage and support one another in this great community. This past week, I had the opportunity to lead our teenagers, and we were talking about self-value and worth, and I was thinking about each and every one of you. I hope and pray that our teenagers have women to look up to just like you. Thank you for setting an example. Please bow your heads and pray with me. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day and the opportunity to gather. And Lord, I thank you for each of these women who have volunteered selflessly of their time and their talents and their resources. Lord, it's because of them that we have an incredible community to live in. I thank you too for their families and their friends who are the backbone that support them in all that they do. And God, I just ask that we can all just come together and celebrate these women. Let us continue to be inspired to serve one another as we set for each and every one of our family and friends and neighbors a community that's safe, full of life, and full of joy. And respecting the many names in which your children cry out to you, I pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Jennifer. Now I'd like to introduce Lynn Yeager, Executive Director of the Prenatal Clinic, who will provide a brief overview of the clinic. Lynn?
Welcome to You're the Tops. As Executive Director of the Prenatal Clinic, it's a pleasure to welcome all of you to a virtual luncheon marking 27 years of celebrating and recognizing 12 amazing women this year for their meaningful and lasting impact on our community. We appreciate your support of the clinic and these outstanding women. Regardless of your experience with pregnancy and birth, we all agree that it's a good thing for babies to be born healthy. In addition to our ethical responsibility to protect a family's most vulnerable members, healthy babies are important to our community as well. Did you know that healthy babies are more prepared for kindergarten? Kindergarten-ready students are more likely to read at grade level by 3rd grade and are more likely to graduate high school, attend college or vocational school, or obtain employment. Adults who are employed are more financially stable with resources needed to raise healthy children themselves. This chain of events, each building on each other, all begin with a healthy start, which happens to be the mission of the Prenatal Clinic, providing low-income families access to prenatal care to ensure babies are born healthy. Complicated pregnancies and premature babies can often require more medical care, which oftentimes must be provided by Medicaid or CHIP. These same children require additional services and perhaps remedial teaching to help those students who fall behind. While the most important factor of this equation is our moral obligation to take care of children, there is also an economic component by where it is much less expensive to provide mothers with early prenatal care than it is to provide services to a baby born with special needs. Thankfully, with early entry to prenatal care, many of these health issues can be addressed and managed during pregnancy. We never want adverse outcomes to be the result of a mother being unable to obtain medical care during her pregnancy. Prior to December 1985, the scenario just described could and most likely happen in our own Bryan-College Station community. Women were presenting at the local hospital for delivery, never having seen a doctor. There was no Medicaid or CHIP coverage for pregnant women, and only a few private practice doctors would provide care to a family that could not pay for medical services. Thanks to community volunteers led by Gardner Osborne and Ann Hazen, who found this limited access to medical care unacceptable, set about making a change. Today, more than 21,750 women have walked through the doors of the prenatal clinic, and more than 17,300 babies have been delivered. The situation could be as true today as it was 35 years ago. There could be women who would deliver their baby without medical care if it weren't for the prenatal clinic and the citizens who support our mission. All women whose income meet the federal poverty guidelines are welcome at the prenatal clinic. There's no group that's excluded or considered a priority. We have only one goal: ensuring that babies are born healthy. To be sure, organizations like the prenatal clinic do not happen in a vacuum. It takes a community to support a nonprofit. We're led by a dedicated board of directors. We have a wonderful staff led by our office manager, Myra Mendoza, our receptionist, Angie Molina, and our medical assistant, Elizabeth Silva. The prenatal clinic's list of patients is an example of what we wish for all babies: that they were born healthy, did well in school, were prepared for college or a vocation to secure a job, and were able to support their family. A true success story because the prenatal clinic was there when their mom needed help. Each of our clients want what every parent wants: that their child grows up to be healthy, self-sufficient, and happy. They just don't always have the funds to pay for the services they need. Collaborations and partnerships are how these gaps are bridged. Our contract with the Texas A&M Health Science Center provides us with board-certified family medicine physicians from the College of Medicine and advanced practice nurses from the College of Nursing that care about women and their babies. Each of our physicians have active obstetric practices, are faculty members of the Texas A&M Medical School, and supervise the residency program to ensure that new physicians have the best possible hands-on education when they leave to start their own practices. It's fair to say that a large majority of our patients are classified as high risk, but thanks to the compassionate care given by our doctors, advanced practice nurses, and staff, we have amazing outcomes. We have our share of miracle babies born to our moms. My favorite so far is Rosa. Rosa had been pregnant 10 times, and each of those pregnancies ended in a pregnancy loss. In October 2018, Rosa delivered a healthy 7-pound, 15-ounce baby boy that she named Eric. This one baby sums up why we're here. The care we provide is still making a difference almost 36 years later.
Thank you, Lynn. Now for the very sparkly part of our program. We're blessed that once again, David Gardner's Jewelers has graciously donated a beautiful item for the luncheon's raffle. The David Gardner's 3-stone diamond bezel necklace features 0.4 total carat weight set in 18-karat yellow gold. This is valued at $2,340. This necklace is a classic, universal appeal. We are so pleased to give you the opportunity to win this, even if that means I don't get to win it. Please make sure to click the link on the luncheon's webpage below this video to purchase your tickets. Raffle tickets will be sold for a couple weeks through May 4th, and the drawing will be held on May 5th. So make sure to get your tickets. You can get one for $30 or two for $50. The math checks out. That is a great deal. You may also buy raffle tickets and make donations using your smartphone. Just text BCS Baby to 26989. That's BCS Baby to 26989 and click on the links provided in the reply text message. As Lynn mentioned, this luncheon is the major fundraiser for the clinic. The individual and business sponsorships combined with raffle ticket sales and contributions in honor of the exceptional women recognized today provide the clinic with the funds needed to accomplish its mission of helping our women have healthy babies. So at this time, I'd like to recognize our sponsors. First, the underwriters. Our media underwriting sponsor, KBTX. Wow, they sound familiar. And our diamond sponsors, Brazos Valley Prenatal Foundation Incorporated, Kappa Delta Sorority, and in-kind underwriters, The Eagle and David Gardner's Jewelers. Our gold sponsors include the Donald A. Adam Family Foundation, Alpha Graphics BCS, American Momentum Bank, Brazos Valley Council of Governments, First Financial Bank, Mrs. Richard C. Perkins, and Stylecraft Builders. We'd also like to bring your attention to the large number of generous silver and bronze level sponsors, which are listed here and on the event webpage below this video. We are extremely grateful to all of you who continue to be sponsors. And for those who are first-time luncheon sponsors and guests, welcome. If you've not had the opportunity to make a contribution to the clinic, please go to the link on the event webpage below the video to make your donation now. If you're already a contributor, thank you again. Now, what you've truly been waiting for. It is my pleasure to introduce the 2021 You're the Tops honorees. They are an outstanding, diverse group of women who have affected our community in so many different and yet all extraordinarily positive ways. We're honoring them today for their selfless service and for their leadership. Each honoree has already been presented with her personal prenatal clinic logo pin to mark this special day. These sterling silver pins featuring the clinic logo have been crafted exclusively for our honorees by none other than our talented local jeweler, David Gardner. Each honoree has also received a proclamation from Governor Greg Abbott with the official governor's seal celebrating today's recognition. Our first You're the Tops honoree, Allison Baines Battenhorst. Allison's dad was active in the hotel business, and as a result, their family moved frequently. While she was not born in Texas, she completed her high school career in Arlington. Her mother encouraged her to apply to a Texas university because, quote, they are required to let you in if you apply. Fortunately, Texas A&M did actually accept her despite her mother's apparent misperception. Halfway through her college career, she decided to go on to nursing school. But first, she completed her biomedical science degree at Texas A&M. After taking a year break, she started nursing school at West Texas A&M. Her nursing career now has spanned 22 years. She has worked in the emergency department, telemetry unit, occupational health, and urgent care. In 2015, Allison started losing patience for her patients and decided she needed to find a new avenue to practice nursing. She was hired as an infection preventionist and has not looked back. Allison enjoys this work so much she became certified in 2016 and then earned her Master's of Nursing in Infection Prevention and Control in 2018. In April, she started her new role as the Manager of Infection Prevention and Control at Baylor Scott & White Medical Center in College Station. She's enjoying the collaborative environment where she helps keep patients, visitors, and employees safe. When Allison is not at work, she enjoys spending time with her husband, James, and son, Andrew. James and Allison are active in the College Station High School Band and Guard Props crew, where they have fun pushing props on and off the field during marching season. Allison and James have been members of St. Andrews for 20 years, and she recently served on a 3-year term on the vestry. Allison also enjoys volunteering with her family to distribute food at the church food pantry and participating in the annual journey to Navajo Land in Arizona as a member of a mission trip that's spearheaded by St. Andrew's Episcopal Church. She participates in the church services as a reader, and she volunteers where needed. In addition to her church activities, Allison has served as secretary of the Heart of Texas local chapter of Association of Professionals in Infection Control and Epidemiology. She volunteers for Texas A&M Opus and Habitat for Humanity. She has a keen interest in safe and affordable housing. During her downtime, Allison enjoys reading and spending time outdoors. Allison, for preventing the spread of infection and encouraging the spread of kindness, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Rose Cates. Rose is a native of Madisonville, Texas. She graduated from Madisonville High School, Lon Morris Junior College, and Sam Houston State University. She married Dusty Cates in 1976 while he was stationed in San Antonio in the U.S. Army. In 1978, they made their home in Bryan. After Dusty's passing in 1995, Rose became a single parent to their 4 lovely, independent daughters, Angela, Barbara, Catherine, and Darcy. Her career in the medical field includes 9 years with University Pediatrics, 3 years for Dr. Nolan Shipman, and 23 years for Brazos Valley Oral Surgery, retiring in 2011. Outside of work, Rose enjoys her faith and her church, First United Methodist of Bryan. Volunteering more than 40 years there, she's taught Sunday school every age group from age 2 through college. She was the first to volunteer for Vacation Bible School, Creative Arts Camp, District Youth Camp, and for years co-taught 6th grade confirmation class. Her lasting support of Methodist Youth Fellowship made her a favorite adult role model. Rose helped found the Awakening Contemporary Worship Service, which has expanded its reach to downtown Bryan. Ever the willing chef, she has prepared hundreds of meals for all church events. Working with Bluebonnet Girl Scouts Council for more than 25 years, Rose was a troop leader for 2 troops, one troop completing their silver and gold awards. United Methodist Women has long supported children and families, collaborating with the wonderful North Bryan Community Center early on, donating socks and underwear. As needs grew, when Rose became UMW president, they added jeans, school supplies, Christmas presents, and after-school meals and snacks to their support. Her work in FUMC's Awakening service included connecting with the women of the Brazos Valley Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse, or BV CASA, who joined them in weekly worship. 3 years ago, Rose enlisted contributions and established a clothes closet for those who needed extra clothing. Within FUMC, she secured space to also collect shoes, purses, even suitcases. When the ladies left their BV CASA program, they could take their belongings in a suitcase instead of a trash bag. Even during COVID-19 regulations where the BV CASA women must remain in their residence, Rose continues to provide clothing for them and their needs. Rose sees nothing special about the things she does in her free time, considering it all just part of being kind. A church friend said she embodied Bible verse Colossians chapter 3 verse 12, "Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience." Rose, for the work you do that is indeed compassionate, kind, humble, gentle, and patient, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Olivia Body Davenport. Olivia is the firstborn daughter of Alan Body and Annie Holly Williams. Born and raised mostly in College Station, she attended school in College Station ISD, then attended Sam Houston State University, earning a Bachelor in Science in Criminology and Corrections. She joined Brazos County Juvenile Services in 1990, where she spent almost 27 years working in various capacities, including Juvenile Probation Officer 1 and 2, also including Department Training Officer, ensuring compliance with the state of Texas probation certification standards. The last 13 years were spent doing what she loved most, working with at-risk youth as the Deputy Director of the Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program, helping youth see that education is important, that being successful doesn't look the same for everybody, but everybody can be successful. She took pride in knowing that during her tenure, they never sent a student back to school without earning credit before they left that program. Since retiring in 2017, Olivia spent her time working at CSISD as a Title I tutor, library assistant, and substituting for CSISD and Bryan ISD. Olivia has volunteered with Mending the Nets Ministry, which her mom created as a result of evacuees fleeing to the Brazos Valley in response to Hurricane Katrina. During this time, the ministry served, providing assistance to those in need with clothing, furniture, personal items, food items, and some transportation. The need was so great in our community that assistance is still given to residents whenever the ministry is able to provide it. Olivia has also served as a volunteer with Family Promise at their local facility, as well as with First United Methodist Church College Station as meal hostess, evening host, and van driver. A member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Olivia is serving her second 2-year term as president of Brazos Valley Area Alumni Chapter. With her sorority sisters, she enjoys participating in some of the following activities: Salvation Army Angel Tree, CASA Back to School Project, the Brazos Valley Food Bank Food Drive and Warehouse Sorting, Delta Academy and Delta Gems, programs for girls providing educational opportunities, STEM engagement, and service opportunities, Kwanzaa for Kids, and the MLK March, Essay, and Art Contest. Olivia has been married to Oscar Davenport for 23 years. They have one daughter, Alexis. She loves to travel, shop, and spend time with her family. She's a member of the New Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church. Olivia, because you believe education is for everyone and you've spent a lifetime making good on that promise, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Tanya Gillespie. Tanya Richardson was born in Alabama but grew up in North Texas. In her senior year at Louisville High School, she fell in love with TJ Gillespie. They were married 2 years later and were blessed the following year by the arrival of their son Taylor. Tanya attended the University of North Texas for a year before beginning her career as wife and mother. When Taylor was 2, Tanya resumed her studies at Collin Community College, taking 2 night classes per semester for 13 years while also working full-time. After transferring back to UNT, she earned her BS in accounting. Tanya has worked in the accounting profession for more than 25 years, both as an employee of public accounting firms and as the current owner of a home-based bookkeeping service. Tanya and TJ share a passion for young people. The Gillespies' home in Leonard, Texas was always open to Taylor's friends as a place to hang out, enjoy a home-cooked meal, and share what was troubling their hearts. They served together in the youth ministry of their church for more than 15 years. It was with pride and a few tears that Tanya and TJ packed their only son off to Texas A&M University. Taylor, class of 2011, served as the commanding officer of Company P2 in the Corps of Cadets and as a Ross volunteer. He was a member of Ags of Oak, the O.R. Simpson Honor Society, and was, I think I'm allowed to say this, a red-ass Aggie. But what made Tanya most proud of her son was his commitment to Christ and his desire to serve others. Then, in January 2011, while TJ was driving Taylor back to A&M for his final semester of his senior year, they were involved in a horrific accident on an icy patch of highway just 10 miles from their home. TJ was severely injured. Taylor passed away instantly. Despite the loss of their beloved son, the Gillespies still have a heart for ministry to young people and for Texas A&M. In 2014, they followed God's call by relocating to Bryan and founding their nonprofit ministry, Taylor's Place. Their mission is to help Texas A&M students and their parents transition from high school to university life, then into adulthood. The Gillespies provide weekend accommodations at no charge to families who otherwise could not afford visits to their Aggie son or daughter. For their service to A&M students, the Gillespies were named the 2020-2021 Aggie Parents of the Year. Tanya, for turning great loss into great love for the youth of this community, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Tanisha Lynn Hanks. Tanisha is a native Texan born in Bryan, along with her identical twin sister, Cara Hanks. Tanisha's been a Bryan resident for much of her life. She's the daughter of Betty Sue Hanks and the late Melvin Hanks Sr., sister of Roshunda, Tashara, Derek, and Melvin Hanks Jr., and the proud aunt of Jaden Miles Hanks. While attending Bryan High School, Tanisha received her Child Development Association credential and was recognized as one of the youngest to receive that CDA. After attending Bryan High School and graduating in the top 10% of her class, Tanisha received her Bachelor of Science degree from Texas A&M University in 2003, her Master of Education from Prairie View A&M in 2005, where she was on the Dean's List, and received her Educational Diagnostician certification from Prairie View A&M in 2015. In addition to being a student, Tanisha's been a teacher at many levels. She was a teacher in Aldine Independent School District for 7 years. While she was there, she was a mentor for aspiring teachers, made educational presentations to different audiences, and was a team leader. She has been involved in a number of organizations: the Girl Scouts, Texas Education Agency, Bethune Women's Club, Texas A&M Association of Former Students, and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, just to name a few. Tanisha is a member of the Rho Phi Phi Omega of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and there she served many officer positions and roles, including custodian, treasurer, assistant treasurer, program chair, secretary, and chapter president and co-chair of the Precious Pearl Pageant, a biannual scholarship pageant. Tanisha is currently the graduate advisor for Xi Psi chapter of AKA, the undergraduate chapter at Texas A&M. Tanisha is currently an educational diagnostician for Bryan ISD for preserving this community's history while helping the next generation create their own. Tanisha, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Joyce Heinz. Bryan, Texas is a long way from her birthplace of New York City, but it's provided 15 years of community involvement and service to retired Army veteran Joyce Heinz. Raised by a World War II veteran of the Army Air Corps and his community-minded wife, this 71-year-old keeps busy with many activities in Aggie land. Her love of those who serve was fed by the service of her own father, the Vietnam service of her husband of 48 years, a son who is an Air Force Russian intelligence officer and who has served in the Middle East and is now a USAFR in San Antonio, and her youngest son who flies C-17s out of Pope Army Airfield in North Carolina. Beginning at Fort McClellan as a member of the Women's Army Corps, Colonel Heinz retired as Commandant of the Inspector General School at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Her service to various communities included scouting to soccer moms and president of the Military Council of Catholic Women. Joyce has an undergraduate degree in journalism, and her master's in theology offered the opportunity to be a campus minister at the Catholic parish, serving Texas A&M. Joyce is involved in several community organizations, including the Noon Lions Club in College Station, a docent for the George Bush Presidential Library and Museum, Women's Club of Bryan Program Chair, and St. Joseph Hospital as president of the Auxiliary of Volunteers 2010 to 2012 and 2018 to present. Under her leadership, the Auxiliary donated more than $124,000 for cancer center equipment. A member of the American Legion since 1993, Joyce was recognized as Post 364 Commander of the Year for the state of Virginia. Since her retirement to Texas in 2005, she's served as chaplain at the post and state level. She was selected as Texas Legionnaire of the Year for 2018-2019. Joyce currently serves as Vice Chair of the National Veterans Unemployment and Education Commission and is the current legislative chair for the Texas American Legion Auxiliary. In 2016, she initiated and is chair of the Coalition of Brazos Valley Veterans Organization. In addition, Joyce is the current president of the Chapter 937 of the Vietnam Veterans of America in Bryan College Station. As the community representative to Troops to College program at Texas A&M University, Joyce shares activities and resource opportunities. As a voice for veterans in the area, it is her commitment to share with veterans what the community has to offer, and with the community, what veterans have to offer. For providing us the insight to better serve our veterans, and for the service you yourself have given, Joyce Heinz, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Cara Holmgreen. Cara was born in Welland, Ontario, Canada, to Anthony and Sonia Stranges. Before moving to Bryan, her family lived in Madison, Wisconsin. The family moved to Texas in 1977 when Anthony became a professor in the history department at Texas A&M. Cara graduated from Bryan High in 1984 and received 2 degrees from Texas A&M, a BBA in Human Resource Management in 1989, and her MBA in 1991. Her career centered on bank marketing and advertising. She worked at First Interstate Bank and Bank One in Houston, First American Bank, and the Albrecht Advertising Agency in Houston. Cara met her husband Mike after moving back to College Station from Houston. The couple married in 1999. Cara then became stepmom to Aaron, and together Mike and Cara had 2 daughters. Miranda is a sophomore at Texas A&M, and Madeline is a junior at A&M Consolidated High School. Aaron lives in Austin with his wife Nicole and son Emery. Cara's first community work was mentoring in the Host Reading Program. She joined Junior League in the year 2000, serving in various capacities, including Charity Ball Chair and President. Cara became involved in the PTO at whichever schools the girls attended. Cara served as PTO President of Pebble Creek Elementary, Oakwood Intermediate, A&M Consolidated Middle School, and CSISD Citywide PTO. She chairs the Teacher Appreciation Week Committee at A&M Consolidated High School and the Tiger Volleyball Blockout Breast Cancer event. Cara is passionate about instilling her love of service in her daughters. She always envisioned a mother and daughter version of Junior League where she and her girls could volunteer together. When asked to become a founding board member of the National Charity League's Aggieland chapter, this vision came to life. NCL is indeed a mother-daughter leadership organization whose members volunteer at local nonprofits. Cara has served multiple terms as Vice President of Philanthropy and becomes President in May. Cara has a love of music and the arts and has been a member of the Opus Encore Board for 8 years, serving as President and Opus Gala Chair for multiple terms. In addition to community service, Cara enjoys spending time with family and their 3 dogs, working out, traveling, seeing live theater, going to movies, antiquing, and cooking. Her family belongs to Christ United Methodist Church. Cara was extremely honored to be recognized at this year's luncheon, and she looks forward to where her next volunteer venture takes her. Cara, for sharing your heart for service with not only your own children, but with everyone in this community, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Joyce Jones. Joyce Jones has been in education for 35 years. She's raised 3 children with her husband Eric and now has 3 beautiful grandchildren. After teaching elementary school for 11 years, Joyce's next professional opportunity came with the Options program, where her endeavors were to support and mentor teenage mothers. Joyce served as Child Development Center Director, Home Instructor, Parent Educator, Case Manager, TAMU Intern Supervisor, and Educational Support Specialist. When Options dissolved, Joyce went back to the classroom to teach career technology classes at Rudder High School. During this chapter, she was able to expand on the coursework she was delivering and provide life skills areas like financial planning, creating and sustaining healthy relationships, secondary goal setting, and sponsor clubs like Texas Association for Future Educators and Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. At Rudder High, she continued to supervise TAMU psychology and sociology interns, where her teaching touched these young adults in skills of case management, mentoring, teaching, and tutoring. Joyce now serves throughout all of the BISD high schools as an at-risk teacher for PRS pregnancy-related services, where she continues to teach and support pregnant and parenting teens. Other areas where Joyce has built opportunities and resources are setting up a clothes and baby items closet, starting the Leadership Academy for teen parents, creating the Brazos Students Against Domestic Violence, and supporting SAVE, Students Against Violence Everywhere. These opportunities for students were not only to equip the students to overcome challenges and build healthy relationships, but to become advocates, providing a voice to others in need. Additionally, Joyce is involved with guiding students to other impactful organizations, such as APO's Mama Club, Young Lives, Project Unity's Hopes, MCH Family Outreach, Early Head Start, WIC, and the Prenatal Clinic. She is currently Vice President of the Children Niños Bilingual Education Program on the MCH Family Outreach Advisory Committee and co-chair of CNBE Early Childhood Seminar. She is an active member of the Community Partnership Board and Brazos County Coalition Against Domestic Violence, as well as Bethel Lutheran Church, where she served on many boards and taught Sunday school and VBS. Joyce gives God and BISD thanks for the opportunity to help others and work with such wonderful students, community leaders, and colleagues. Few people get to enjoy what they do for a living, and quote, "I am one of those blessed few." You say you are blessed, but Joyce, you are also a blessing to this community, and for that, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Mary Jo Lindsay. Mary Jo was born in Bryan and attended Bryan ISD schools and Texas A&M University. Her roots run deep in the Brazos Valley. Her great-grandparents were one of the founding families of St. Anthony's Catholic Church, and her grandmother was very instrumental as a young child in getting the Mission Church of San Salvador in the Brazos Bottom started. She learned at a young age the importance of faith, family, and community. She lived in Dallas for several years, working as a furniture assistant buyer for Sanger Harris department stores, eventually opening her own business, providing corporate gifts to companies such as Nortel, Texas Instruments, and American Airlines. She was a member of the Richardson Chamber of Commerce and was very involved in her church. Then she moved back to Bryan in 1999 to help care for her mother. Here in Bryan is where she met and married her husband Gregory in 2002. She worked for Cox Communications as an account executive. You may have even heard her voice on TV or radio in years past, having done many voiceovers for local commercials. She's a Chamber of Commerce Ambassador alumni and Leadership Brazos class of 2001. Charity involvements include the Children's Museum of the Brazos Valley, the St. Joseph Foundation Brazos Valley Open Golf Tournament, Angels on the Runway Benefit Style Show and Dinner benefiting the NICU unit, and service as Tri-Chair of the Southern Living Idea House in 2006. She also served on the Surviving and Thriving Cancer Luncheon Committee for 11 years and the Catholic Charities Advisory Council of the Brazos Valley for 10 years. She's a marketing volunteer with Red Sea Catholic Radio. Mary Jo is a member and past president of the Women's Club of Bryan College Station and volunteers in the Spiritual Care Department at St. Joseph as a Eucharistic minister. She's also an auxiliary board member of St. Joseph Health. Mary Jo and her husband Gregory are members of St. Anthony's Catholic Church. Mary Jo's involvement there includes Eucharistic minister, lector coordinator and trainer, funeral dinner ministry, altar linen ministry, hospital ministry, altar society, stewardship committee, and capital campaign committee. Mary Jo is grateful to her husband Gregory for his continuing support throughout the years. She believes all that we have is a gift from God, and we are called to be caretakers of those gifts of time, talent, and treasure. Mary Jo, for your service to your faith and through that faith to others, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Elena Luksovsky. She is a Texas native, born in San Antonio to Henry and Charlotte Garcia. Elena's been a resident of the Brazos Valley since starting a degree in biomedical science at Texas A&M in 2004. She has since had a change in goals and holds a Bachelor of Science degree in web development with honors. As the internet became the new frontier for expansion and opportunity, she has seen the benefit in embracing it not only for herself, but also sharing that potential with others. The main motivation for all her endeavors is love of her children, Phoenix, William, and Charlotte. With her first child, she was an actual patient at the prenatal clinic. Her family has also experienced WIC and Head Start as participants. These experiences heavily influence her advocacy for prenatal education and continued support of breastfeeding education. Elena believes a temporary setback or difficult background is no one's final destination, and we must all respect one another. She uses her knowledge to support the early and continual parent involvement in children's lives, local governments, and school districts. She's also worked with La Leche League of Bryan College Station and aspires to help support families in their breastfeeding journey, as well as advocate for better education through stronger liaisons with other supporters of prenatal health as a certified leader in that organization. She is currently in her second year as the Robertson County Girl Scout Service Unit Director and sixth year as a volunteer. Through Girl Scouts, she's helping families learn how to prepare and support their children's ability to see a problem, make plans, then completely solve a problem, or at least do their best to improve the situation responsibly as individuals and as a team. In previous years, she was president of the College Station Head Start Policy Council. There, she helped grow the program via support for educators and parents learning all voices matter. Her current passion project is crafting a nonprofit center based in Robertson County that allows people to economically access programs needed to study for certifications and create portfolios of in-demand software skills and demos. Her husband, Joe, who is the rock that supports her ability to support others, makes all things possible. Elena believes in meeting people where they are and working to be stronger together. She also believes in not saying I want, but instead I will. Elena, you wanted to make a difference. You did, and I dare say you will continue to do so. For that, you are the tops. Our next honoree is Allison Prince. Allison Prince was born in High Wycombe, England, where her father was stationed at U.S. Air Force Base there. While she has some fun memories like chasing pigeons in front of Buckingham Palace, most of Allison's childhood was spent in Texas. Her cute British accent was quickly replaced when her family moved to San Antonio, Richardson, and then Georgetown, Texas. The youngest of 3 children, Allison followed her sister and brother's footsteps to Texas A&M University. She graduated in 2004 and then earned a master's degree in agricultural leadership education with a certificate in nonprofit management from A&M in 2008. As an undergraduate, Allison was a member of a co-ed service fraternity, Alpha Phi Omega. In this organization, Allison had her first exposure to community service and learned valuable leadership skills. It wasn't long after graduation that a public service calling pushed Allison to enroll in graduate school with a goal to work in nonprofit management. Allison worked full-time as the enrollment specialist with Big Brothers Big Sisters while taking those graduate classes. After graduation in 2008, she joined the team at United Way of the Brazos Valley as Director of Information and Referral Services. Allison served in that role for 4 years, then was promoted to Vice President of Community Impact. Shortly after her promotion, United Way went through a financial crisis and CEO vacancies. In 2014, Allison was asked to serve as the interim executive director and then was promoted to president and CEO in June 2014. During her tenure, she's worked with her team and her board volunteers to rebuild the organization's financial viability, community reputation, and investment strategies. She says United Way is not the same organization today as it was 10 years ago. Allison is most proud of the organization's recent response to COVID-19 in spring of last year. United Way partnered with other organizations to host the COVID-19 Community Relief Fund. And in just 8 weeks, that fund raised more than $1.2 million. Those funds were then distributed to 134 nonprofit organizations and small businesses to provide direct service support and sustain jobs interrupted by COVID closures. Allison serves as a board member for the BISD Education Foundation and as the board chair for United Ways of Texas. All of Allison's professional successes would not be possible without the support of her amazing husband, Stephen, and their adorable yet spunky boys, Eli and Ben. Allison, for the way you have helped to rebuild this community in so many ways, you are the tops. Our final honoree is Martha Sanders. Martha grew up in a family of 8, sharing a small house in Dallas. She recalls learning the value of volunteerism at a young age. Her parents were involved in community volunteer work, ranging from assisting the disabled and elderly to mentoring 4-H youth. Martha took an interest in nursing during high school in San Antonio after enrolling in a health occupations class, allowing her to work in a large pediatric practice. It was during her time assisting doctors and nurses that Martha was inspired to become a nurse herself. She went on to graduate from the University of Texas Health Science Center at San Antonio as a member of Sigma Theta Tau National Honor Society of Nursing. Over the past 4 decades, Martha has served her fellow Texans in a myriad of ways. She began her career as a surgical ICU nurse, caring for critically ill patients, and worked as a patient educator. Martha went back to her pediatric roots, working clinics in College Station ISD for the past 2 decades and teaching classes in the CSISD Parent Education Program. In addition to receiving instruction in prenatal care and parenting skills, every student is able to demonstrate proficiency in infant choking rescue and CPR. Teen parents participating in this program have a graduation rate about twice the national average. Martha is passionate about educating students and connecting them to community resources like the prenatal clinic to ensure a healthy pregnancy and child, as well as a timely graduation. Each graduation celebrated opens the door to a brighter future for the family. This year, the pandemic presented new challenges for these students, and Martha and the Parenting Ed team were able to assist. As treasurer of TAMU AgriLife Extension FCS, Martha was honored as 2016 Volunteer of the Year in Family and Consumer Sciences for Health and Safety Projects. She was president of Brazos-Robertson County's Medical Alliance and served on the Nursing Scholarship Committee. For more than 40 years, Martha has performed vision and hearing screening on thousands of Texas children. She was a member of City of College Station Community Appearance Committee, CSISD VIPS, Community Crime Watch, and served her church as an engagement encounter mentor. Martha is married to local physician Charles Sanders. They have 3 children, Chuck, Amy, and Scott, and 3 grandsons. Martha plans to continue volunteering as long as there is a need in this community. Martha, for supporting the health of this community's bodies and souls, you are the tops. We also want to thank the table coordinators of our 2021 honorees. Even with the change from an in-person to a virtual luncheon, the table coordinators for the honorees continued to play a critical role in the success of this event. Your assistance was greatly appreciated. Thank you for your support of the honorees and for the clinic. Now, Lynn Youre, Executive Director of the Prenatal Clinic, will present the Friends of the Clinic Award. Lynn?
Thank you, Kathleen. Volunteers serve a major role in the clinic's success. The Gardner Osborne Friend of the Clinic Award was established in 1999 to recognize individuals who have made a significant contribution to the prenatal clinic by sharing their talents and resources to increase the clinic's effectiveness and visibility in the community. This award is named in honor of Gardner Osborne, who is considered the mother of the clinic. You will often hear that Gardner was a force to be reckoned with. She worked tirelessly to establish a clinic where low-income women would be assured of medical care during their pregnancy. In that same spirit, we recognize this year's recipient. I'm pleased to recognize Dr. Amanda Bray as the recipient of the 2021 Gardner Osborne Friend of the Clinic Award. Dr. Bray's relationship with the prenatal clinic began soon after her arrival in Bryan College Station to serve on the faculty of the Texas A&M College of Medicine. Since that time, Dr. Bray has generously provided guidance, advice, and has helped develop protocols to ensure the prenatal clinic provides the best possible medical care to patients of our clinic. Amanda is an amazing woman and has a heart for the women we serve. We're proud to recognize Amanda Bray as our 2021 Friend of the Clinic. Congratulations and thanks for your friendship, Dr. Bray.
Today, we have recognized outstanding women in our community who serve passionately and tirelessly in different ways across the Brazos Valley. We have shared the clinic's mission to serve women here who want to be healthy and have healthy babies. The economic and social impact of healthy moms and babies is so significant that we know you will want to be a part of continuing the success of the clinic's mission to reduce the number of women who receive no prenatal care, thereby reducing preterm births and related issues. On behalf of the Clinic and Luncheon Planning Committee, I hope this event was special for you, your family, and friends, and that you are inspired to support this clinic. A quick reminder, you may donate to celebrate these honorees and buy a raffle ticket by clicking the links on this webpage below the video. That raffle will be held May 5th. While financial support is obviously important for a nonprofit, it's just as important that we're advocates for the prenatal clinic by sharing the clinic's story both to those who can provide support and those who might use the clinic's services. Everyone is welcome to visit the clinic to see the difference they make firsthand. Just call and set up a time with Lynn. Thank you for listening in to this special luncheon and celebrating these talented and generous women. Again, we congratulate each of our honorees and we thank you for your contributions to our community and to its families. If you would like to nominate a woman for recognition next year, the 2022 nomination form is available with a link on this webpage, or you may contact any member of the Luncheon Committee or Lynn Youre. It is a wonderful way to support the prenatal clinic while also celebrating the women who are making a difference in our community.